In a spot I think they're going to go into this game winning your end losing. You're rotten, but let's say I'm wrong about that, you know what I mean. Let's say that either the Jags lose or the Steelers lose, whatever it is they still. They have been preparing all week as if our season is on the line, and I think they have played back-to-back very poor games now. Miami just played one poor game, but also got their best win of the year 2 weeks ago, and they're banged up. And you can rationalize if Miami loses what's problem is they're going to a bit go to Kansas, which I don't think they can win there, but I know a lot of people think they have a better chance of winning in Kansas they do at home against the Bills, which I don't totally understand, but it seems to be somewhat conventional wisdom here. Buffalo needs to have some true good feelings going into this postseason, and I know they're on the winning streak, but there's also really weird Stephon Diggs stuff going on. A coach was talking during the break like about how we don't talk as much about the Bills we do the Cowboys, that the Bills like the local reporter there Tim Graham was trying to ask about Stephon Diggs, and he said that they ended the count, the what do you call it, the press conference. It was a digital press conference. Diggs hasn't spoken to the media in weeks, and nobody cares cause it's upstate New York. AJ Brown doesn't do it for 3 days. It's an international incident, and so I just think if they lose and sneak into the playoffs they're drawing dead, Bruce, so I think I agree. We see that them getting the second seed would be the vibes they need all. Right, I mean, like if they got the second seed it would almost erase yes what's been a nightmare season. I think it would right, and you go in there feeling like we got 11 wins. The way we got here was crazy, but we're here and we had a better year than Kansas City. I mean, you can think at that point, so I agree with you there, but I just think with Miami their only chance, and I don't think they're getting out of the FC anyway, but their only chance of doing it is as the number 2 seed with home field for a few of those games. Buffalo, because say they are so up and down, I do think they're not great on the road either. By either way, but I do think they're a team that because of the way they play and their nature that they could go on the road and beat somebody. I think they could. I'm not saying I picked them. They could go into Kansas City and win that game, and so I think Kansas or Miami needs it more. If Buffalo wins this game, they're really dangerous. They're really dangerous going to playoffs because it has been a disappointing season, but they're gonna go into the playoffs reading at a huge win streak. They're gonna have clawed their way back to B2 being champions again, which nobody gave much a chance to be 5 or 6 weeks ago, and they're gonna have a ton of momentum, and I know they haven't played great the last few weeks, but them finding a way to win, that's huge. And they become very dangerous if Miami doesn't win now. It's a collapse. They've lost 3 out of 5 games. They had the division essentially sewed up. They couldn't they do it now. They've got to go try to figure it out in the playoffs. It's a totally different equation for these two teams based on winning. It should be also be noted that if the Steelers don't win, if the Ravens win and then Miami wins this game, we're getting this game again in round 1. Buffalo at Miami. If Miami wins, they get this game in 2 versus 7. If the Steelers don't see it and you hear it, it's time now for a second so hot my grandmother gave it up for dry January. Not funny, she has a problem. It's upset other. Coach Brew has been very hot. I've also been smoking hot, but jury kicking us off. I don't remember your last one to be 100%. As for you, but I'm sure it was fantastic. I'm going Carolina, and no, I want Vaquero win. You know I want Carolina, my son's there, but I'm going with Carolina, and I got a few keys that I think Carolina can get. I'll look at, and then the first one is they gotta force Tampa to run the ball. That's the first and foremost, and you go to the stats. The 31ª ronda Boulder 87.3 yards per game, and I think each day ever other defensive coordinators are going to do a great job of a lot of split safety defense and force the Bucs to win this game by running the ball. The second thing, no big plays. Okay, and if you look at the stats from Tampa, they've been really good. With this, whether it's plus 20 yard passes right on down the line, TDs it been in the first game. What was the difference? The difference was a Mike Evans 75 yard big play. Total difference in the game, no big plays. And then the final thing, and this is offensively, they got to stay ahead of the sticks. Okay, they have to stay out of the sticks, and take a look at the numbers for Bryce Young. It's been terrible on early downs, 4.5, 51.3 right on down line, and the way to do this is you're gonna either run the ball or in the passing game it's a lot of quick throws, wide receiver screens, things like that. Just give yourself a chance, because the first time they played them they were 3-4-15 on. Now if they can get that, that's something marginally better. It was such A close game last time. I think that'll be enough to carry him. What a love terrible pick. I want to tell you guys, great picks though. That crew. Do you remember when Wilds got 3 in a row correct last year and we did a whole commercial campaign surrounding us? We've done 17 of these. This year number 16 because we were off of Fraida Juve got in nine of them so Made this for you buddy, nice bro. So I'm going with Braun. I got Lamar and the Ravens pulling miles and alert the Pittsburgh Steelers who they will own. They bet the Raiders over the Jets in Arrowhead. The Eagles will fly high. Bruce Cook pushes Staley to the brink. Pittsburgh Steelers over the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh from the rugged AFC North is going to go up in their end. Beat the Seattle Seahawks. I mean brew, that's 9 outright winners. A lot of pressure on you, Nick. Fantastic job. That is fantastic. You almost make a brother want to cry because you're always looking for ways to get me. You either don't we either ask me questions my information or you just lie out loud to me. Sometimes I'm going here and then you set me up for banners ruling it out right now. I know I want to cry, but anyway this one I got to be honest, I felt better about it before I found out Ryan Tannehill and the Princes. If I got the Titans, Nick. I did. It comes after you gave me that, Nick. They have played Houston, Indy, and there was one other tough team they played. They lost by 3. That was a Seattle. Tennessee. You mean and they beat Miami. Like I know last week it looked bad against Houston, but they have been close, and what put me over the top was Mike Vrabel. I mean my goodness. I'm ready to run from through a wall. So good. The Princes toasto. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I got the Titans. Excellent pick. This side of the table is hot now. It's time for the pucks. A tiny pill of football, you might say. Like, do you just do all my time? So the matter it's the side of the table or it's Kajet. I'm going with Ravens over the Steelers. What Wilds the Steelers needed and the Ravens are chilling. I guess what this happened in 2019 final week of the night 2019 season. The Steelers needed to win and get help in the Ravens. Was Lamar about to win his first MVP rested, and what happened? Ravens rolled. So that is going to happen again. And here's the other weird part about this rival, because the Steelers largely owned the Ravens when they played head to head. Except, and then this is odd one to figure out, when the Ravens are underdogs they win, when the Ravens are favored they lose. So it's bizarre. So the other thing that it's the elephant in the room is this, Nick, and I know you're waiting on it. Wilds, you don't get it. Wilds, you don't get it. The idea that the Ravens, who are resting in a meaningless game against Mike Tomlin, still I do get it. The problem is the Ravens play hard on even the most meaningless games, which is the reason they're out here sending tweets set records that literally no one cares about it. The record was broken this year. I wouldn't be surprised they brought it up in the pregame meeting. Like, remember that we lost the preseason record. This is really though your pick. You're not doing the I've got another bit. I got bullied into this pick because I barely believe it, but I'm gonna say it confidently. So if it happens I get some credit on social media. Commanders to cover straight up over the Cowboys, and again history is on my side, because if I said it's raining frogs you are off course. It's gonna rain frogs on Sunday. You would have a right to be like, Wilds, that sounds ridiculous, but you can't say there's 0% chance one last year on January 8th it also rained frogs. Check when the Cowboys lost to the Commanders with nothing to play for, and Micah says he was focused. This is what happens. We get real. You're doing double picks. Joining me for Nick's picks. Red hot the last few weeks, but here's situation. We started slow, so we're 6 games under 500. So you know what we're gonna do this week. Well, half dozen 6 beat give us a chance to get to 5 for the year. They call it, some call that chase your losses. I call it smart financial planning. Browse getting 7. You want to tomorrow chase, laugh and giggle like a school child after being eliminated from the postseason. Anti-AMT playing. Also Jim Schwartz. You know one of the great things about having a defense as simple as Schwartz's defense. Line up and play, which been so good backups can do it. See, getting 7 points for a Bengal seems that's 1 2 3. Can't goon give me Cleveland. Next Patriots, 1.5 against the Jets. Belichick's not losing his swan song in New York. And by the way, how about this for the opposite of the Andy Reid effect? Robert Saleh with extra rest, meaning with more time to coach the team. Worst coach in 20 years against the spread. Looking up America. Next Detroit, 3. Dame Campbell is still angry. Is the next please do we I promise you was Detroit. 3. There it is. He's Dame Campbell still mad. They're technically alive for the 2 seats, and here's thing, this game's at when Philly and Dallas are at 430, so they're not gonna know, so they got to Play hard in the Minnesota quarterback situation disaster next Giants getting 5.5 against Philly prediction Dallas cooking Washington Philly. Takes Jalen Hurts out Tyrod Taylor and Brian Daboll try to make a little. If Inns go all of a sudden back to recover next Chicago +3 at Green Bay. This seems playing hard for Everflows they're playing hard for Justin Fields. I don't know if it's gonna matter everybody cooks Joe Barry's defense and useless and they've been winning and playing close last 6 weeks and last. But not least the better team is at home Miami +2 and it's very simple. And Buffalo is gonna see Pittsburgh win on Saturday go to bed thinking oh my God our season's on the line you're gonna have the year my guy McDermott's gonna be thinking about I gotta have a hell of a pregame speech this time you. No last time it didn't go so well there it is Miami +2 and Alf Davis. The pick 6 do we have any conflicts we don't right I don't think so but I have 6 I have 2 that's 8 9 10 and 0 you're on fire so you'll be well. 17 will go with Brew excellent job coming up next we see that montage again. Travis Kelce tried to go for 16 yards it's a full game for him okay. Still with their offense thanks for watching subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.